Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Julian Speaks. I hope you're doing well. And if you're new here, this podcast is a safe space where we can talk openly about love, heartbreak, healing, and emotional struggles, and learning how to protect our peace in a world where emotions can become incredibly complicated. So today's topic is called the emotional damage of mixed signals. So this is something that silently destroys people emotionally more than many could realize, right? So let's talk about mixed signals, something like hot and cold behavior, inconsistency, confusion, almost love, or the emotional uncertainty that leaves you constantly questioning where you stand with someone. So one day they act like they are deeply care for you, and the next day they disappear emotionally. And one moment that they make you feel chosen, and then the next moment they'll pull away and leave you anxious. And honestly, mixed signals can become emotionally addictive because they create confusion that keeps people emotionally attached. So today what we're going to talk about is about why mixed signal hurts so deeply. We're going to talk about why some people give them, how inconsistency affects emotional health, and why people stay attached to emotionally unavailable situation. And lastly, we're going to talk about how to stop losing yourself trying to decode someone else's behavior. So wherever you're listening right now, I'd like to thank you for being here today, and let's talk. Segment 1. Confusion can become emotionally torture. So, one of the hardest things about mixed signals is that they keep you emotionally suspended. You never fully feel secure, like you never fully let go either. And you live inside uncertainty because your mind is constantly trying to interpret their tone, their replies, their effort, their distance and affection, and their silence as well. So you start overanalyzing everything. Like you wonder, did I do something wrong? Or why did I different act or what did I act differently today? Do they still care, or am I overthinking, or are they losing interest? And honestly, emotional inconsistency can become mentally exhausting. It's not easy because mixed signals create emotional instability. And one day you feel hopeful, and the next day you'll feel rejected. And over time, that emotional roller coaster slowly drains your peace. What makes this even more painful is that people giving mixed signals often give just enough attention to keep emotional attachment alive. So not enough consistency to feel safe, but enough affection to keep you hoping. And hope can keep people emotionally trapped for a very long time. And that's sad. Segment 2. Why people give mixed signals. Now, everyone, listen. This is really important. Not everyone who gives mixed signals is intentionally manipulative. Sometimes people genuinely do not understand themselves emotionally, I would say. And some people, they might have a fear of commitment, crave for attention, struggle with emotional maturity, or enjoy connection but fear the responsibility, or simply they do not know how to communicate honestly. And unfortunately, emotionally unavailable people often create the deepest confusion because they may genuinely care about you, but not enough to show up consistently, not to show up physically, not just that, but not to show up emotionally in a consistent way. And that's the painful part. So sometimes someone likes your presence, comfort, your love, your attention, but still they cannot give you an emotional security. And when people are emotionally inconsistent, their action begins contradicting their words. They would say, I miss you, I care about you, I want you in my life. But their behavior creates anxiety instead of reassurance. All right? And this is why actions matter more than temporary emotional moments. Because consistency reveals emotional intention for more clearly than words do. Segment 3. The addiction to the almost love. Oh, okay. I think one of the saddest emotional experiences is becoming attached to potential instead of reality. You start falling in love with someone could be, what the relationship almost became, and the version of love that you keep hoping that will finally arrive. And in mixed signals create emotional dependency because the inconsistency makes affection to feel more valuable. And when someone becomes distant, you crave closeness more intensely. And when they suddenly return with affection, reassurance, or attention, it feels emotionally relieving. And that relief can be very addictive. So your nervous system starts chasing emotional validation from the very person causing the anxiety as well. And this is why many people stay emotionally attached to situationships, inconsistent relationships, or emotionally unavailable people for far too long. And because the occasional affection feels powerful enough to keep you to keep the hope alive, but then let me say it clearly: confusion is not love. Emotional instability is not passion. And inconsistency is not emotional depth. So healthy love should not constantly leave you questioning your value. Segment 4. How mixed signals damage self-worth. Alright, so one of the most dangerous things about mixed signals is what they slowly do to your confidence. Because over time, people begin blaming themselves for someone else's inconsistency. And you start thinking, maybe I'm too emotional, or maybe I'm asking too much, or maybe I was prettier, calmer, less needy, and more understanding. And suddenly you begin shrinking yourself emotionally just to maintain the connection. And that's heartbreaking. Especially because many people experiencing mixed signals are actually asking for very basic emotional needs. And these things like consistency, communication, reassurance, honesty, effort, clarity, and emotional presence. And those are not unreasonable expectations. And I think many people stay because they keep wanting for clarity from someone who benefits from keeping things emotionally unclear. Because sometimes the ambiguity gives people access to emotional connection without responsibility. That truth is painful, but important. Segment 5. When you start losing yourself. Guys, everyone, one of the clearest signs that mixed signals are emotionally damaging you is when your mood becomes dependent on someone else's attention. Like, it's when a reply changes your entire day. Like when the distance creates panics, silence creates overthinking, and when temporary affection feels like emotional survival. And that's when emotional attachment starts becoming unhealthy. And I know many people listening right now have experienced this. Checking your phone constantly, like rereading conversations, trying to analyze someone's behavior, and wondering if they still care. Meanwhile, your emotional energy slowly becomes consumed by uncertainty. And honestly, the saddest part is many people lose themselves trying to be understanding, open and quote, understanding, towards emotional inconsistency for people. And they become patient beyond their limits, forgiving beyond their boundaries, hopefully beyond their emotional capacity, until eventually they barely recognize themselves. Segment 6: Choosing clarity over confusion. Everyone, healing begins when you stop romanticizing inconsistency. And I know that can be difficult because emotionally unavailable people often create intense emotional experiences. But intensity is not the same thing as stability. A healthy connection should not constantly leave you anxious where you stand. And this is something I want listeners to remember deeply. If someone genuinely wants to build a healthy relationship with you, clarity will not feel impossible. Effort will not feel rare. Communication will not feel one-sided. And the affection will not disappear every time emotional responsibility becomes uncomfortable. You deserve a relationship that feels emotionally safe overall. Not relationships where you constantly have to decode someone's feelings through confusion and inconsistency. And sometimes protecting your peace means accepting someone's behavior instead of endlessly trying to understand it. That can be one of the hardest lessons in love. And if you are currently dealing with mixed signals from someone you deeply care about, I want you to hear this clearly. You deserve clarity. You deserve consistency. And you deserve emotional safety. And you could never have to exhaust yourself trying to earn basic emotional reassurance from someone who keeps you emotionally uncertain. Sometimes the most painful relationships are not the fully committed ones, but the almost relationships, the unclear relationships, the inconsistent connection that people emotionally attach without feeling truly secure. And healing begins when you stop confusing emotional instability with love. Everyone, thank you very much for spending this time with me today on Julian Speaks. If this episode resonated with you, I would appreciate if you would share it with someone who may currently be struggling with emotional confusion or mixed signals in their relationship. And if you have a deeper reflection about heartbreak, emotional healing, self-worth, and learning to choose yourself again, I would have to invite you to please grab a copy of my book. It's called The Space I Never Give Myself. And your support truly means so much to me. And please don't forget to follow Julian Speaks here on Spotify and on YouTube. And I do also have a social platforms like on Facebook and Instagram as well for more honest conversations about love, healing, relationships, and growth. As I always say, take care of your heart, protect your peace, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.